Hi everybody, welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Goth Tarot, my special weekly look for the collective into our shadow issues. As such, this is a general reading. If you find resonance with it, I'm very pleased. But keep in mind, this is a collective reading, good for an approximate week or so, beginning today, Wednesday, November 17th. Thank you all for being here. So what we do is several card pulls from several darker or Gothic themed decks. And we try to apply that to some of the shadow philosophies, issues, or things to question, ponder, or consider in all other ways. So I'm going to start with the first card from the Crow's Magick Tarot. And we're looking at your dark gift. So what is the dark gift? It's insights or wisdoms, things that you feel that maybe are unique to yourself or not necessarily held by most others. So we have the Three of Coins or the Three of Pentacles. Imagination ability, it says. And so for a dark-minded person, an emo goth type person, your gift is understanding the value of your own work, your own artistry, but how it relates to others to the point where they are able to also conclude you are an artist. You are capable of producing fantastic work. So that's sort of like the catch-22 here in this, is that this is a feeling, of course, you know about yourself, but really what's involved here is finding a way for others to see that. Not without being pushy, of course. Sounds like me in a way. All right, for the next two cards, representing the dark struggles. These are taken from the Gothic Tarot. The challenges or limitations that can possibly give you an insight and understand your darkness as well as others. And of course, even if we understand that some people are not attuned to the goth vibration, they may still be full of their own darkness. So it may be important to understand how that affects you and why it may possibly show up as your dark struggles. Okay, so we have the reverse Two of Pentacles, and the reversed King of Swords. So the challenges or limitations, well, this would suggest to me that somehow you have to kind of spare no mercies, spare no tender feelings in some issue where maybe you're called upon to render a decision, make a judgment, choose a course to follow. But then you have that Two of Pentacles reversed too. And I think this is saying there's somebody closer involved in this, and it's causing a little bit of an emotional overload at this time. You have some feelings here that you don't want to hurt, but you may have to. You may have to really sort some things out. That's the Two of Pentacles reversed there. Realign some things. And that's where the King of Swords is involved too, because some of this is going to be you really trying to clear away the parts that don't work anymore. And the struggle really is about how you do that with care to not overly hurt somebody in certain ways, not just their feelings, you know, but your other actions, you know, could do that too. So now we're going to move on to the last three cards, which are all from the Night Sun Tarot. And the first card there is the Dark Truth. The reality that you find to be oppressive, or like we said before, limiting, very challenging. And yet, as a truth, there may be something there that you can understand that helps you deal with your reality. The Dark Truth. The reversed Nine of Wands. This is saying maybe there's a position you need to retreat from, that there's nothing to be gained by fighting or standing up for something you had been. This is calling upon you to maybe cut your losses and run in this matter. The Dark Sacrifice. The sorrow that you may bear, the lessons you learn from that, how you judge yourself on that, how you may feel you can use that energy to do something better, to bring something better to the table. It's the reversed Eight of Cups. And I think that, like the previous card, cutting your losses was talking about, the reality you have to consider, just making a big change and getting away from it. The sacrifice you may have to consider that brings some sense of sorrow to you, perhaps. That Eight of Cups reversed. You have to go back to something you don't necessarily want to, but there may be something there you still haven't figured out that you need to, or there is some reason why you're not done with something you may have thought you were done with. Now, this could apply to relationships. This could apply to any perhaps major moves, a change in job, a change in residence, various changes. You may have to revisit these situations. It could also be saying too that maybe You know, I actually like this idea better, that maybe that sacrifice you give up is that feeling or that need that you have to go and revisit something. Maybe another way of looking at this card is saying, don't do that. That you need to give up that feeling that you have to go back in order to address something. It's really reinforcing that message. I'm seeing this differently now. The message about cut your losses and run, the Nine of Wands reversed. This card reinforces that. This card is saying what you need to sacrifice is that feeling that you should go back there and try to eke out or glean something that you can use. I think this card is saying you really have to move on. You really have to give that up. So then finally, the dark redemption, the final realization and what you hopefully will learn from it. And it's the upright Six of Wands. And this is where you will find victory. That is the victory. This Six of Wands shows you as being in charge, being noticed. Like that first card, the Three of Coins, wanted you to be noticed. The idea of your truth. This is saying you will be noticed, but maybe more for the victories achieved, the peace that you can forge, the bonds you can make, the processes you might be able to complete, that if you are working with others for common goals to try to pull yourself and some others along, that's what you need to realize. What you need to do is focus on moving ahead towards that victory, not those issues of the past. It's time to cut your losses and run. You've been challenged by not wanting to hurt feelings, perhaps, but you probably just need to do it. Just do it. Ride the victory. So that's pretty interesting for Goth Tarot this week. It actually shows that some of us really are at a good turning point, and that maybe we just really need to lose the losers, lose the losing situations, or not focus on them as much and focus more on ourselves and our own needs. We can't necessarily convince the world that because we have a dark kernel wisdom that we adore, that's really the way they can do that. It was like what I was saying about one of those cards, you know, it's not just Goths that have darkness within, that other people have a darkness within. They don't associate that with their Gothic nature, but they're inwardly dark. We have to do what we have to do for ourselves, and everyone else should have a great week. Take care.